Los invitamos a unirse al movimiento Inmigrante por la Justicia. We invite you to join Immigrant Movement for Justice.
Yeah.
We invite you to donate to the movement. Every activity costs money. Cada actividad cuesta dinero, aunque no lo parezca. Today, no human being is illegal. That slogan unites us today. We have many different organizations, many different activist support from community members, but today we are united under no human being is illegal.
Right.
Hoy nos unimos bajo el eslogan de ningún ser humano es ilegal. Aquí hay muchas organizaciones, hay individuos, hay activistas y cada quien tiene su perspectiva, pero lo que nos une hoy es el eslogan de ningún ser humano es ilegal. So today we are going to hear from Native Americans, from DACA students, from Calpulli, Native Lives Matter, Jewish Voice for Peace, Black Lives Matter in Paul. So we have a program including some of these speakers. So if you are going to speak, gather around here. But I guess we are going to open with some culture over there.
Gather up, yo. Let's gather up.
Charles. I'm a son of an immigrant. My parents were from Haiti. I was born in Haiti myself. Came to the United States when I was 14 years old. Myself and 4 brothers and a sister. My parents worked hard. They taught us the values in life, to go to school and make something of ourselves, which all of us did. Today, I'm sitting here speaking to you guys as an immigrant. My parents were immigrants, but now I call this country home because that's where I've lived since I was 14. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Good, good, good. We need to fight for justice for the immigrants. We need to make sure we fight to keep TPS for those other immigrants who are still looking for hope, looking for a way out, looking for a better life. Okay? When I first came here, I didn't know, where I was going to be in 10, 15, 20 years. One thing I knew was that I had another opportunity in life, and I think everyone deserves a second chance. Everyone deserves an opportunity. And when I'm here looking at your faces today, I'm seeing hope. I'm seeing opportunity. Okay? And yes, pardon for my language, but I am from a shithole country. But at the same time, we don't let any of what people say define us. We define ourselves. We define our future. We make our own destiny. Okay? So don't ever forget that. You make your own destiny. The minute you're born, with the help of your parents, and as you grow up, you have the option, you have the opportunity to make something of yourselves. The fight must go on. We cannot give up. We need more people like us who are making a difference. So, on this day, let's make our voices heard. Thank you.
De norte a sur, de este a este, ganaremos esta lucha, cueste lo que cueste. De norte a sur, de este a este, ganaremos esta lucha, cueste lo que cueste. These are some of our demands today as an immigrant movement for justice. Immigrants and refugees are welcome here. Stop all deportations now. Legalization for all workers, students, and their families now. Stop discrimination against undocumented immigrants. Housing for all. Defend Muslims. Stop the ban. Healthcare is a human right, free for all. Raise the minimum wage, 15 or more. Education is a human right. Defend DACA. Defend TPS for Salvadorans and Haitians. Not to anti-immigrant legislation. Yes to sanctuary cities. Antonio, ¿dónde está Antonio? Antonio is a DACA student. He will give a brief message.
All right, Antonio!
My name is Antonio. I want to thank everybody for coming. Better? Better.
Antonio!
My name is Antonio. I came here, my family came here 25 years ago when I was 8 years old. I didn't want to come here. I remember my family was in Mexico, my cousins, my friends, but we had to. We had to. My parents were looking for a better life for us, and I'm glad they did. I'm here, I learned the language, I went to school, I went to college before having DACA.
Yeah!
So I graduated and I didn't have a work permit. So it was just a barrier. After DACA, I was able to work in the corporate world. I was working in accounting. But then I realized that I can do bigger things. And having a work permit has allowed me to open my own business.
Get him!
So right now, that's what I'm doing. I have a small business thanks to DACA.
Get him!
Thanks to DACA, I was able to have financing for my business. that has allowed me to provide for my family and also help my community with my business. So like, I don't know if if DACA was to cancel and I have to go back to Mexico. I haven't been there for 25 years. I don't know, this is home for me. This is home. Like, my family is here. I'm an American. That's what I have to say.
Okay, gracias, Antonio. Thanks, Antonio. Whose streets? Our streets! Whose streets? Our streets! Whose streets? Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets! Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Y ahora tenemos a Josina Manu Maltzman. We have Josina Manu Maltzman from Jewish Voice for Peace. She will give a brief message.
All right.
Hi, all you beautiful people. Can you hear me?
All right.
Yeah. Great. So my name is Josina Manu Maltzman, and I organize with Jewish Voice for Peace Twin Cities. I want to start by honoring the Dakota, whose land we're on. And all the First Nations people who are in a continued struggle for sovereignty. I also want to shout out to all the women, all the trans women, all the queer women, all the grandmothers, all the mothers, all the daughters. Everyone that's here today fighting for your dignity and our dignity, everyone's dignity. Jewish Voice for Peace, or JVP, comes to this struggle from a very specific place. Our primary role is to support Palestinian liberation. But we're grounded in the values of anti-imperialism, anti-white supremacy, and pro-justice. We know that our liberation is a struggle. Our liberation struggle is a collective one. We know that Israel is a colonial project. We know that Israel is a global expert on controlling its own civilian population. Israel exports its tactics and weapons training to governments like the U.S. in what Jewish Voice for Peace calls the Deadly Exchange Program. These trainings include lethal and predictive policing, militarization, spying and surveillance, and threats to protesters and movements. Police forces in this country are being trained by Israeli security forces. So think Ferguson, think Standing Rock, think ICE raids. These, our police here in the U.S. are trained to see us as a terrorist threat. So JVP has launched a campaign to stop the deadly exchange. Why? Because in Minneapolis, in Hennepin County, Sheriff Richard Stanek has twice brought delegations to Israel to train. And we know that anyone arrested in Minneapolis goes through the Hennepin County Detention Center, no matter what their offense, no matter what level of offense. And then Stanek brings ICE in. So everyone who gets arrested in Minneapolis has to deal with ICE. And that's because of the deadly exchange. The deadly exchange helps facilitate that. We also know about programs like Countering Violent Extremism, or CVE, but soon going to be called Countering Islamic Extremism, that infiltrates our communities and rips them apart. Boo! That's just fucked up. That's because of the deadly exchange. So we know that stopping the deadly exchange is just one front in the fight to keep our families together, to keep our loved ones in their homes and in their communities. We're honored to be in this fight with all of you.
All right.
Thank you so much. And why are we here today? We are here today under no human being is illegal, as I said before. But so many people, so many immigrants have been detained recently, and it hasn't stopped, it hasn't changed. We've been deported always, you know. Once you cross the border, then you have two options. Your two options, well, before you cross, the first option is you die. The second option, you will be persecuted the rest of your days here in the United States. So we are in solidarity of all people detained unjustly. We have been told that this, as you know, euphemistically, this place as a detention center. but in the Nazi era that would be called a different thing, right? But we have been told that this is one of the worst places. So there are a few detention centers, and this is one of the worst ones where they treat immigrants very poorly, very badly. So we are going to hear from, so we have Native Lives Matter person here. Do we have Black Lives Matter in Paul right now?
Right here.
Okay, he will give a...
Call his office, the third, and tell him how real it is, how important it is that this DACA, it remains. So I'm going to leave it at that, but I do want to go ahead and say it again. Let the dreamers dream. Dreamers! Dream! Dreamers! Dream! Dreamers! Dream! Dreamers! Dream! God bless y'all.
Loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here.
Loud.
Say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here.
So we have one more speaker. So this activity has been supported by different people, around 35 different groups, individual, activists, media. Thanks so much to the Penn Glendale and Public Housing Coalition for supporting this activity. Thanks to Jewish Voice for Peace, Twin Cities. Thanks to Sembrando Poder. Thank you, Women's March Minnesota, Susana de Leon, Calpulli Quetzalcoatlicue, Twin Cities Socialist Action, Empoderamiento Latino, Morena Minnesota, Indigenous Roots Cultural Arts Center, Filipinos for Immigrant Rights, Viva El Sabor Magazine, La Voz del Pueblo, Minnesota Peace Action Coalition, Take a New Nation, Fight for Justice, John Thompson, Black Lives Matter, Wisconsin Bail Out the People Movement, Calpulli Jausenowski, Trista Matacastrillo, Witness for Peace Midwest, Central Project, Minnesota Cuba Committee, Minnesota Protest,
Like one of the things around immigration. Oh, you're still Marcos? Tell him he's not here. Come Johnson.
Native youth, he will give a brief message.
Hello everybody, Hamatasiapi, Hihani Wichafi, Masiapi na Washitu Ia, Nolan Bergen, Masiapi, I'm Petit Chileni, Chante, Washina Pech Uzapi. Hello everybody, my American name is Nolan Berglund, my Lakota name is Hihani Wichafi, which translates to Morning Star in my traditional language. I'm 16 years old, I grew up here in the Twin Cities, and I came out here today to march for and with my fellow humans. Thank you guys all. I want to thank you all for coming out here tonight because this is a very important movement. The dehumanization of people is not okay, and it needs to be brought up. It needs to be talked about because a lot of people don't know about it. People live their lives, but they don't stop to think about how important this movement is. This is people's lives that are on the line. And I want this whole St. Paul area to know that everybody is welcome on indigenous land. Thank you guys all for coming out here again. Again, my name is Nolan Berglund. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to Native Americans. They always welcome us, welcome immigrants and refugees to their land, to stolen land. Okay, one more chant and then we are about ready to start the march. Are you ready? Aquí estamos y no nos vamos. Aquí estamos y no nos vamos. Aquí estamos y no nos vamos.
Estamos y no nos vamos. Estamos y no nos vamos. Aquí estamos y no nos vamos. Estamos y no nos vamos.
Okay, so we have the last speaker and then we're going to start marching. Now we have Mel Reeves who's going to give a brief message.
All right. Give yourselves a hand. Yeah, give yourselves a hand because it's cold out here. And you had sense enough to know that no human being is illegal, right? And when you think about it, that's some really crazy talk. Think about who in the hell decided that with their boundaries keep us from being human beings? You weren't born with a boundary on your back, were you? Of course not. We weren't born with boundaries. We were born as human beings. And we have to see each other as human beings. To be honest with you, this whole thing kind of pisses me off. And it should piss you off too. Because think about it. The whole country was formed and founded by immigrants, right? And then worse than that, the original immigrants stole this land from our brothers and sisters, the Native Americans. Right? Now it takes a hell of a lot of nerve for the people who come back, who come after you've stolen something, who want to come and share that. It takes a hell of a lot of nerve for you to say to them that you don't belong. In fact, that takes a hell of a lot of nerve, doesn't it? So we have to continue to push back on them, right? It's obvious that this society is organized around some values that aren't humane values, right? I mean, who in the hell shuts down government about scribbling over a few dimes for poor children, right? For the children of folks who got here and have worked their butt off. Every person I know that's from someplace else is pretty hard work, and I don't know about you. You know, it doesn't matter to me if they're here, they should be here. I don't care. But the point is that most of my immigrant brothers and sisters are hard-working brothers and sisters, right? And their children, they've earned the right to be here. If anybody's earned the right to be here, it's them and their children, right? But yet we got a government, and by the way, I call it the government, because if it was our government, we wouldn't be here begging them to do the right thing. Right? And then tell me if I'm wrong. You wouldn't you wouldn't deport people's children because they weren't from here originally, would you? No. Of course not, right? You wouldn't be running around calling people human beings illegal, would you? No. Of course not. So why do we have a government that's doing that? You see, so that's right. We've got to, at the end of the day, we've got to go. It's beyond Trump because the guy before Trump deported a whole hell of a lot of folks. All right, guys, got to pay attention. Pay attention to the tricks, right? Doesn't matter if I do wrong with my left hand or my right hand. Wrong is wrong, right? So that means that this is a systemic problem. We've got to fight and change the system. We want to incorporate a system that does the things that we want to do, right? We want to incorporate a system that operates like us, right? We want a system that says that we all are brothers and sisters, right? So that's what we have to continue to do. We have to keep pushing for something that actually represents us. Thank y'all.
Women's movement is led by women. Movement of African American is led, or it should be led by African Americans. A movement of Jewish people should be led by Jewish people. An immigrant movement should be led by immigrants. We hope you understand that. I hope you will support us. I hope you will join the immigrant movement for justice and make it grow, make it bigger. So we are ready to march. So basically, the police will be on the front, opening space. We have the dancers. After that, we have our banner. Then the rest of the march. Then more police in the back. So just follow the marshals, the people with the vest. If you have a question, or if the police has a question, come to Karen. Karen will be the police liaison. Okay, so let's go. Let's do it.
Yes, we are.
Education is a right, not just for the rich and white. Education is a right, not just for the rich and
you.
everyone. When they kidnapped us from Africa, they brought us to Haiti. They brought us to Colombia. They brought us to Venezuela. They brought us Mexico. They brought us all over the place. We didn't ask for that. Right. We didn't ask. But we unite ourselves with the Native American who were there, and we became one. One. Now they're trying to separate us, to divide us by our skin color. This doesn't mean nothing, because the power we have inside is better than the skin color. We are people who trust in our ancestors. We are people who believe in the power of community and family. Family is not only blood related. It's people who have the same belief and will be there for you the same way you will be there for them. And this is what unites us here right now. Whatever word they're doing, whatever thing they're saying, just let it go. Scoop it back. This baby, you cannot deal with that. No, you know what? Because when I talk about myself, I'm not selfish. I'm not just one unit. I'm not just Jenan. I'm Jenan, daughter of Florencia Pierre. And so I can speak, I can still kiss that woman, I can hug it, and I'm not afraid of showing my feeling, my sentiment, because I was raised in the family where we are here to stick for each other. You're not by yourself, you're not alone. Today, with all those beautiful spiritual people here, to remember, you're not by yourself. Hands and hands together, we will survive and we will rise. Hands and hands together, we will survive and we will rise. Hands and hands together, we will survive and we will rise. Hands and hands, I want to see your hands together with the person next to you. Hands and hands together, we will survive and then we will rise. Hands and hands together, we will survive and we will rise. Hands and hands together, we will survive and we will rise. Hands and hands together, we will survive and we will rise.
We are United States.
Yes. You will see a dance called Igbo. Let's say Igbo.
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 Igbo. Is
Igbo.
the name we give the name of this dance for our most amazing dance. The reason why, when we were brought as slaves in Haiti, there was Maroon, and the first Maroon were the Nigerian people, the tribe called Igbo. This tribe, they killed themselves instead of being a slave. They ran away. They said, no, never. They poisoned themselves. They killed their kids. They do everything because they say, or I'm free or I die. No people in my tribe will be a slave ever, because everybody was born to be free. They were the first one who go to the plantation every night, even though we couldn't speak the same language. They use body language to communicate to each other. Let's go away. Cut the chain, the physical chain in your arms, and the chain in your feet. We're like that. Oh my goodness. Huh? But what was worse is because the colonizer planted that seed that if you are black, it's okay to be a slave. God wants that for you. There's no God that wants anyone to be a slave. they awaken that spirit in every Haitian. That's why, during that ceremony of Bois-Caïman, they decided to be Haitian. They didn't call themselves Igbo, Nago, Yaoundé. They called themselves Haitian. They didn't call themselves Taínos, Caraïbes. They called themselves Haitian. Because that word Haitian means a lot. It means union. It means one body. Regardless of the color of your skin, regardless where you come from, regardless if we were fighting before, but when we decide at the ceremony of Bois-Caïman to become one, we have only one goal, to be free! So now, Mr. Trump, you calling out that word, you don't know what you're talking about, baby. You need to go back to schoolhouse, you know, and somebody to teach you about the history of Haiti. Igbo tribe taught us, and from then, we become that proud nation. And it's not only, oh, I'm Haitian, I'm better. No, Taínos, everybody, we're all the same because we went there. We're not gonna go there again. After you take all our money, all our diamond, all our gold, all our resources, now you don't need us? Oh my gosh, really? Really? Well, guess what? You want us to go back, give us everything you take from us. Yeah. Give us everything you took from our country, from our nation. Exploiting the diamond in Congo. Give us everything back. We will go back and rebuild our country. If we had the power, you don't know. A lot of you don't know. Oh, those colonizers are undermining every effort we're doing to rise. They destroy all our resources. Our farming is destroyed. Our production is destroyed. They give guns to our kids. Haiti doesn't have. If we are so poor, how come we can buy such automatic guns? Where we find the money to buy guns? We will buy food and feed our kids. Where does that gun come from? I wonder. Right. I wonder. So that dance you're gonna see, we teach it from the babies to the adults. We didn't have the power of writing, but we use music and dance to educate ourselves and keep our history alive. Because they write whatever they want for us. And tell that's your story. I'm like, no, that's not my story. That's your story. Let me tell you what is my story. The way I learned it from my family, the way at night I sit down and I can see the power of my grandmother moving her body and shaking and the drumming and say, moi c'est haïtien, moi c'est free, patient, freedom, liberté. That's right. You're gonna see our children, you're gonna see our friends, you're gonna see our family. He'll show you that Igbo, and all of us before we leave today, we're gonna learn that dance Igbo. Let's say Igbo! 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 Igbo!
Haitian culture group, thank you for your offering, for your words. So everybody, we're not going to be using this space anymore, so come on up. You can come all the way up to the stage. We have a program lined up for you, several speakers. So come on up, so that everybody can get in the space. Before we go on to the program, we'd just like to welcome everyone to Indigenous Roots Culture Arts Center. We will be selling pozole on the side. So if you like to contribute to Indigenous Roots Cultural Center, we'll be selling $5 pozole bowl on the side. That helps us with the rent for the space. So please go ahead and grab some.
How's everybody doing? All right. We just want to thank Janan and Apuntai for being here and kind of as we walk in, welcoming and receiving us. I want to make sure you guys stay put. We have some great speakers lined up, more dancing. So if you like some movement and some words, come stay. I do want us to open up this space, Indigenous Roots Cultural Arts Center. First and foremost, we need to understand that the land that we are standing on right now is a native land. And we are welcomed into this land. And so I want to introduce Crystal Norcross, who is a member and a community member here of Indigenous Roots Cultural Arts Center, community activator, East Sider, badass mama. First and foremost, I want to say thank you, Crystal, for all your work in the community, and so I'm going to pass it over for her to do words of blessing.
Rápidamente en español, para todos los que hablan español, bienvenidos a Raíces Indígenas. Estamos vendiendo pozole a $5 a un lado. Por favor, apoyan, comprando pozole, apoyan este centro cultural. Vamos a darle el micrófono a Crystal Norcross, que es una hermana nativoamericana. Ella nos va a hacer una oración para comenzar este programa. Damos las gracias a nuestros hermanos del norte, nuestros hermanos nativoamericanos, porque esta es la tierra en la que estamos, esta es su tierra de ellos. Entonces, como siempre y como es costumbre, siempre les damos las primeras palabras a nuestros hermanos nativoamericanos.
Hello everybody, how are you doing today? First of all, I just want to welcome everybody for being here. So I want to say, Crystal Norcross, Washichuya, Hamachiapi, Manituawi, Hamachiapi, Dakota Hamachiapi, Sister Wapton Oyate Hamasaha. That is the language of this land that you're standing on. It's Dakota language. I am from Sistan Wapton Oyate, but I grew up here in East St. Paul. And there's a name for this. You know, everybody thinks it's East St. Paul, Dayton's Bluff, but actually it's called Imnisa Ska. And it has to do with those mounds over here. How many of you guys been to the mounds? Yes. Well, that's why I stay here. This is our land. But I want you to know that everybody is welcome on our land. Everybody's welcome here. So I was offered here some tobacco medicines to do a prayer. So if you guys...
He's going to continue to pay until he gets deported. We're trying to make a movement here, where all of us are included. There are no differences, race, because the fight to defend the rights of the immigrant is the right of the women, is the right of African American against police brutality, the fight of the natives to fight for the land, which is this. And the majority of us
tienen descendencia de inmigrantes.
Comes from immigrants.
En el año de 1800 1890,
in 1890, 1890,
emigraron muchos de China.
a lot of immigrants came from China.
Y ellos hicieron el trabajo de construir las carreteras, construir los trenes.
And thanks to them, we have the railroad.
Y construyeron y trabajaron.
And they worked
Very hard para
construir
la América que hoy estamos.
to build the America that we have today.
Y pasaron una ley ejecutiva y los mandaron de regreso.
And they passed an executive order, and they were sent back to their homeland.
Muchos eran ciudadanos.
A lot of them were citizens.
Lo mismo pasó en 1930, 40.
The same thing happened in 1930, 1940.
Con trabajadores mexicanos.
With the Mexican workers.
So esto no es nuevo.
So this is nothing new.
Han estado haciendo por muchos años y mantener dividido y oprimido nuestra.
They've been doing this for a lot of years, dividing us, centuries, just trying to divide us.
Los trabajadores hacen la economía fuerte.
The immigrant workers make the economy stronger.
Todos somos parte de acá. Nosotros tenemos hijos, ciudadanos. Si me deportan, están deportando a los hijos ciudadanos americanos.
We have roots here. We have sons here. If we get deported, our citizens, our kids, our citizens are being deported as well.
Están deportando a sus propios ciudadanos, que son mis hijos.
Gracias.
They're deporting their own citizens, which is my son.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for coming. With all your support, I'm going to introduce Kaylee. She's a high school student. She is part of the Immigrant Movement for Justice. Oh my gosh. The Juventud, the young, take the lead is what we wanted. The young, they tired, they divided. You know, the policies they put in Washington, the executive law is very racist against Haiti, against Salvadorian, Liberian. They put it against the most vulnerable people, the very poor country who really need to be here working to construct a better future for their country. And the reason, you know, we fight this movement, building this movement, to become together, to understand. We are workers, we're not criminals, we're not gangs members. We're doing everything for this land. After 20, 30 years, some people be deported. It's injustice. Welcome to Kaylee.
I'm going to be speaking Spanglish, so I'll try to translate after myself as well. Anyways, muchas gracias por venir. Sé que no hemos hablado mucho español, pero muchas gracias. Y solo quiero ver, I want to put things into perspective right now. It's been over 130 days since President Trump ended DACA, causing fear, frustration, and uncertainty for over 800,000 dreamers. TPS has been taken away from people who fled their countries for a better start, like my parents. People who have now lived more years in the U.S. and their country of origin. It's not our fault that a program with good intentions like TPS was broken from the very beginning. From the start, we've needed and begged for a path to citizenship, or to be accepted in a country that we love, in a country that we grew up in. So we need to act now. This has been an ongoing cycle where they promise us a viable solution time after time. But look at us now. We're in the middle of a government shutdown. This has been fueled by anti-immigrant sentiments. So I dare you to tell me to calm down. I dare you to tell me everything is going to be okay. I dare you to tell me not to worry about it, because our lives are not a game. Pero hoy, ahora mismo, now, es cuando tenemos que estar unidos, tenemos que dejar de esperar que ellos hagan algo, porque si nosotros no tomamos acción, ellos peor. El cambio que estamos buscando, solo lo podemos hacer nosotros unidos. Y ese es el mensaje de toda esta marcha. Y antes de empezar, quiero decirles que no tenemos que esperar que ellos tomen acción. Es bien fácil, no es fácil, pero nosotros mismos tenemos que buscar y tratar de tomar acción. Entonces, ahora vamos a pasar para el primer speaker.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Nereo Linares y soy estudiante y estoy apoyando este movimiento porque como estudiante también tengo sueños de estudiar, de conseguir una carrera, un degree, y por eso estoy apoyando aquí el movimiento y porque sin DACA nosotros no podemos lograrlo. Hay muchas barreras en la educación, en todos los ángulos y por eso estoy aquí marchando y apoyando. Como estudiante me afecta que nos quiten el DACA.
So his name is Nereo. Nereo Linares. So he's 20 years old and he's a student. And then if DACA is canceled, then it's gonna affect him as a student. His dream is to go to school, have a career. He would love to be a math teacher. And that's why he's here. He wants to show support so that he can keep his DACA. So that's why he's here and supporting the movement. Right, that's it. Thank you.
All right, guys. Now we're gonna have a speaker from Women's March Minnesota, Deborah, Bean, and Lisa.
First of all, on behalf of Women's March, we are so grateful to be able to be here, to be invited to be here and participate. We are very humbled by that. Thank you.
Bueno, en nombre de la Marcha de Mujeres de Minnesota, queremos darles las gracias por la invitación de estar. Estamos muy
Come away from the speaker. Move away from the speaker.
Okay. Estamos muy honradas de estar aquí con ustedes en solidaridad hoy día.
We as Women's March Minnesota stand with immigrants, dreamers, undocumented Americans, and we aim in unity with others to support and protect the human rights of all. No human being is illegal, and no human being should be invisible.
Nosotras, las mujeres de la Marcha de Mujeres de Minnesota, nos unimos en solidaridad con los inmigrantes, con los dreamers, con los americanos indocumentados, y buscamos en unidad con todos ustedes apoyar y proteger los derechos humanos de todas y todos. Ningún ser humano es ilegal y ningún ser humano debe ser invisible.
The Trump administration has insulted, dehumanized, and threatened immigrants and people of color, Muslims and those of diverse religious faiths, LGBTQIA people, Native people, Black and Brown people, people with disabilities, survivors of sexual assault.
El gobierno de Trump ha insultado, ha dehumanizado y amenazado inmigrantes y personas de color, musulmanes y personas de diversas religiones, personas de diversas orientaciones sexuales, indígenas, afrodescendientes, personas con discapacidades, víctimas de asalto sexual.
Anti-immigrant and racist hate crimes spiked in 2017, bolstered by an administration that seeks to disenfranchise immigrant communities and communities of color. We stand in resistance to these attacks.
Los crímenes anti-inmigrantes y racistas aumentaron mucho en 2017, reforzado por un gobierno que busca privar de derechos a las comunidades inmigrantes y comunidades de color. Nos unimos en resistencia a esos ataques.
We demand comprehensive immigration reform, which includes a pathway to citizenship and a promise to keep families together. We demand protection for dreamers. DACA has allowed over 740,000 undocumented immigrants who entered the country as children to live, study, and work without fear of deportation.
Exigimos una reforma comprensiva de inmigración que incluye un camino a la ciudadanía y una promesa de mantener a las familias unidas. Exigimos protección para los Dreamers. DACA ha permitido que unos 800,000 inmigrantes indocumentados que han entrado al país de niños a vivir, a trabajar y a estudiar sin miedo de deportación.
We denounce and call for the investigation of private for-profit detention centers that deprive undocumented adults and children of their basic rights and well-being. And we denounce detention centers that separate mothers from their children.
Denunciamos y exigimos la investigación de los centros de detención privados con fines de lucro y que privan los adultos y niños indocumentados de sus derechos fundamentales y de su bienestar. Y denunciamos esos centros de detención que separan a las madres de sus hijos.
Through our shared and persistent advocacy and organizing, we can make sure that 2018 has significant and sustained impacts at the ballot box. No longer can candidates shy away from staking their support for passing a Clean Dream Act or for comprehensive immigration reform. We must retain and elect leaders who will hear our voice and who will stand on the right side of history.
A través de nuestra abogacía y organización compartidas y persistentes, podemos asegurar que en 2018 tenemos un impacto significado y sostenido en las elecciones. Ya no será posible que los candidatos políticos huyen un Dream Act limpio y la reforma de inmigración comprensiva. Debemos mantener y elegir líderes que escuchan nuestra voz y que estarán en el lado correcto de la historia.
We know that at the core, feminism must be intersectional. We know that 1 in 3 women live in poverty or on the brink of it, and immigrant women bear a disproportionate amount of that burden. Women's March Minnesota fights for the rights of marginalized communities, for just and equitable systems, and for the freedom of all peoples who make up our diverse nation. And together we stand with you and support you in this movement. Thank you.
Sabemos que en el núcleo el feminismo debe ser interseccional. Sabemos que una de cada 3 mujeres vive en la pobreza o está cerca de ella. Y las inmigrantes, las mujeres inmigrantes, representan una cantidad desproporcional de ellas. La marcha de Mujeres Minnesota lucha por los derechos de las comunidades marginalizadas y por sistemas justos y equitables y por la libertad de todos los pueblos que forman nuestro país diverso. Nos unimos en solidaridad con todos ustedes y los apoyamos en este movimiento. Ningún ser humano es ilegal. ¡Vivan los inmigrantes! ¡Vivan los inmigrantes!
How's everybody doing? So my name is Tao Zhang, and I'm a member and organizer for Immigrant Movement for Justice. So I'm a Hmong man, and here in the Twin Cities, we have the most populated of Hmong people here anywhere in the U.S. I'm the only one here, but that's okay. That's okay, I'm here. I want to introduce somebody, and he's not Hmong. He's a black man. This guy had made the awareness when the police department released a dog on a 75-year-old Hmong grandmother. This guy came to the Hmong community, pulled us together, and so that we need to stand up and fight for our own people. So this guy helped the Hmong community to fight for a traffic signal so that, well, basically we don't get run over. So that will go into the 2018 bill budget proposal to finally fix the traffic light within the Hmong community. He's also a president and the founder and the CEO of Fight for Justice LLC, you guys. No further ado, Mr. John Thompson, you guys.
Sorry guys, I'm a little, it's like I'm sick and I'm still here marching with y'all, but bear with me. I know that I'm sorry I didn't prepare a speech, but I guess I'll start by saying I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry for being loud. I'm not sorry for being black. What I am sorry for is that we live in a divided states of America with a president that everybody that's around him voted for, and they support his racist views. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry that other countries look at us like we damn fools. I don't know if any of you guys have heard me speak before, but I'm not the typical speaker. Like, I'm not going to be sugarcoating anything today. So if you're looking for somebody to sugarcoat something, you're in the wrong place. So let me give you the real. Let me tell you about us, because as a black man, my ancestors promised jewels. They were promised jewels. They were promised all kind of riches. All you gotta do is get on this boat. We on that boat, and 400 years later, we've been slaves. We were slaves. We were tricked here. Now, if anybody should go back, some of these Europeans should go back to where they came from. All right? All right? And I'm gonna say this too. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry that this man is our president. I'm sorry. But what I'm not sorry for is my indigenous brothers and sisters fighting. I'm unapologetically black. I'm gonna stand up with y'all, man, but I'm under the weather, so I didn't prepare anything. I never prepare a speech. I don't think I have to. I don't think I have to, because everything I'm saying right now comes from the heart. In order to beat this, man, we gotta stand up together. Because Donald Trump has a racist agenda. If anybody should go back, he should go back. This is stolen land. This is stolen land. And take Jeff Sessions with you. Yeah, this is stolen land, man, and I'm here. I'm here. I was stolen. My ancestors were stolen and brought here. Alright? What are you talking about? The Mexican? You gonna build a wall for Mexico? Come on, man. Build a wall around the White House for now. Honestly. I'm serious about what I'm saying. I may not come off as the typical speaker, you know, because I'm not politically correct. Like, I don't give a damn about Donald Trump. I don't give a damn about nobody in the White House right now, because the White House has a racist agenda. When Barack Obama was there, we should have painted it black. We should have painted the White House black. And I'm not apologizing for saying that. I mean that. Because everything that Obama did, they're trying to take away. And there was some things that helped everybody. They're just trying to take it away because it was a black man. That's what it is. I know what it is. Alright? Anytime a man says, just grab it by the pussy, and you vote for him, you out your damn mind. Oh, I didn't come to be politically correct. You out your damn mind. Anytime the president says people need to go back to their shithole country, and we live in a shithole country right here, racism makes this a shithole country right here. So how can you tell anybody to go back anywhere when this is a shithole country right here? This is not the United States of America. We're not united. We are the divided states of America. We are the most divided. I think we're the most united people right now in America. Yeah. We are the most united. And we got to keep united, because outside of this circle right here, there's a lot of division. There's a lot of division. Honestly, y'all, like, I don't know no other way to tell it to y'all, man. Like, I wish I could tell y'all nicely, but Donald Trump and his agenda is full of shit. Everybody in the White House is full of shit, and I'm not trying to sugarcoat. I'm sorry if you can't take it, but I'm sick of it. I've been dealing with this for years. The police brutality I've been fighting. See, normally I come and fight for police brutality. Yo, I'm speaking about my friend Philando. Man, it's bigger than Philando. You know what happened to Philando? Came from that racist agenda. That law, they got that officer off. So that came from that playbook right there. And I'm going to be clear when I tell y'all, man, the KKK ain't gone nowhere, man. They just took off their doggone white hoods and they traded their white hoods in for legislative seats, for seats at the mayor's office, and definitely in the police department, in the sheriff's office, in the judge's office, at the courtroom. They're white supremacists in all of those. In all of those. And their agenda is to keep people keep the oppression going, to keep people separated. I'm coming here every time I actually did not even want to come here today. I didn't know nothing about it. This was a last minute deal. But I'd be a damn fool not to come here today. I'd be a fool not to come here today. Thank you. I'm sick, Carl. Thank you for having me. Wait. I got to say this and then I'll go. I love every last one of y'all. And ain't nothing y'all can do about it. And I mean that. Thank you.
Amazing people just by getting involved, and I just keep meeting new people. And now we're going to give it up to Arturo Ramirez, someone who I just met yesterday again, and he's the most wise person I've ever met, and I'm definitely looking up to him. So Arturo Ramirez.
Hola, buenas tardes, gracias a todos por asistir. Mi nombre es Arturo Ramírez. Soy de la Ciudad de México y era personas aquí.
Hi everybody, my name is Arturo Ramirez. He's from Mexico City and he's very happy to see everybody here.
Ahora estoy representando al comité de Morena, Minnesota. Morena, Minnesota es un grupo político que pretende hacer una lucha para poder sacar a México de la situación en que vive.
So right now he's representing the Morena Committee, which is an organization to help make a change in the way that Mexico is right now.
Los problemas que atraviesa México, México no es el único país. Si nosotros recordamos a la compañera Cáceres de Honduras, vemos que solamente no es ella, ni Honduras, ni México, sino todos los países son los que están atravesando por un grave problema.
And then if we look at it, like Mexico is not the only one that's going through all these problems. Like if we look at Honduras, it's facing something similar. Like a lot of countries have similar issues right now.
A través del movimiento, ahora Partido Morena Minnesota, nosotros pretendemos impulsar la lucha y un cambio que en realidad se necesita en México.
And then with the Morena Committee, we're trying to push for the change that Mexico really needs.
Con tristeza podemos ver que no podemos llamar a nuestros hermanos de diferentes países. Nos gustaría que todas las organizaciones que participan hoy trajeran su gente.
It is sad to see that we cannot bring everybody together. You know, I would love to see like all these organizations bringing in their people and just do it together.
Cuando nosotros logremos concientizar a nuestra gente y podamos llamarla para que juntos hagamos una sola lucha, ese día vamos a poder decir, estamos progresando.
When we can bring our people together and make them conscious, then that's the day that we can actually say, hey, we're making a progress.
La solución de todas las personas de diferentes países, especialmente de Centro y Sudamérica, el venir a otro país no es la solución. Estamos abandonando una lucha que debemos establecer en nuestros propios países.
People think that coming to America is going to solve the issue, but no, we live in a problem back home that needs to be faced as well.
Tenemos que seguir haciendo conciencia. Tenemos que seguir trabajando con nuestra gente.
We need to make people conscious. We need to be working with our people.
Tenemos que hacer que nuestra gente se interese. Los problemas tienen que ser resueltos en nuestros países. Podemos decir que la solución solamente la tiene quien viene, pero en realidad los problemas se quedan en nuestros países.
We gotta make people conscious of the problems in our country. You know, people think that coming here is going to solve the issue, but no. You know, the problem stays back home.
Juntos
Together,
podemos lograrlo.
Together we can make a change.
Mientras continuemos haciendo luchas separadas, no podemos nosotros crecer.
If we keep on fighting our own struggles, we're not going to be able to grow.
Si nosotros queremos crecer, tenemos que unirnos.
If we wanna grow, we gotta come together.
Thank you for everyone for hearing me.
Thank you for everyone.
Muchas gracias, Arturo. Antes de empezar a seguir, tenemos un clipboard que está pasando. Por favor, apúntense. There's going to be a clipboard going around. Please sign up just to get more information. And then our next speaker is Helen Mayer, who's the next U.S. Senate candidate.
We say, my party, amnesty for all immigrants, no deportations, yes amnesty for dreamers, yes amnesty for those on the temporary status program, and yes, 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 amnesty for all immigrants living here today. Both the Democrats and the Republicans turn immigration and deportation on and off to meet the needs of the employing class. They always maintain a section of workers without legal papers to intimidate them, increase competition for jobs, and drive down the wages for all. We say amnesty for all. When a Democrat or a Republican politician says they're for immigration reform, which they claim to be discussing right now in Washington, what they really mean is that they're for laws which give the bosses more say over the flow of immigration. They're not concerned about the interests of immigrant workers and their families living here. They want to be able to decide when they want workers and when they don't want workers. And we stand in solidarity